should have put it in.
Dang, we should have had planned it. Like we should have already been talking.
Yeah, we probably should have already.
Yeah.
But,
I was about to just start talking.
Let's go ahead then.
Yeah,
bro. No. Might as well keep it going. Ain't no point in starting over.
Let it ride.
So do y'all really feel like how do y'all feel about Lil Wayne and Kodak Black being partnered?
I feel like Lil Wayne was smart. I ain't even mad at Lil Wayne. In retrospect, in hindsight, that man was smart. This man just said, "Hey, vote for Trump." The man lost, and he still got a part. Well, Trump lost, and Wayne still won.
I was thinking that too.
So I'm not even mad at him.
I mean, I'm just like, bruh, when you think about all the people that's in jail that should be pardoned for what they've done for the culture, and when I say the culture, this shit is just a common thing to say, but what they've done.
Wayne's done it for the culture. I know you don't think that, but I do. So yes, please continue.
Wayne done what for the culture? That could be a BS conversation there.
That's why we having it right now, because it's like that's really bullshit. Like
he brought us Drake and Nicki. How about that?
Okay,
and then he sold their masters.
Okay, what I mean? Everybody's selling it. Bob Dylan sold his masters. Bob Dylan, and if you ask if we talk about the white world, Bob Dylan is the greatest songwriter ever.
But that brings us back to the conversation from the last podcast. Why the fuck do we keep trying to do what white people did justify doing shit just because white people did it? And we do that. We definitely do that. We justify shit. Not just you, but just everybody. Be like, oh, it's cool because such and such did it. And it's like, but as black people, we hold ourselves way more accountable than they do.
No, so I mean it's a lump sum thing.
So now we don't, or
well, no. So the reason why he did it, or the reason why I could see he could do it, is because of the lump sum payout to sell the masters, and then they not even his masters. Just kind of fucked up.
Oh, he sold his too though.
No, they said it was just Nicki and Drake.
No.
He
sold his first.
Oh, well, 100 million. So you can get 10 million over 10 years, or 100 million this year.
That just proved that you've been getting fucked your whole career. Because ain't nobody
by his daddy.
Right. Because it's like, bro, if nobody, Lil Wayne should not be hurting for money at all. Like, I mean, I don't agree with him as an artist, but just the amount of work that he's done over the last fucking 25, almost 30 years, like.
Yeah, Wayne been out since we was kids.
You shouldn't be hurting for money. You shouldn't even need to sell that. But everybody else jumped shit from Cash Money, and he was the only person that was too stupid to do it. Not too stupid as if it's his fault, because he was raised in that shit. Them other niggas was old enough to be like, fuck this shit. I'm not letting this shit happen to me.
I'll kick it to you like this. If you hit that $1 billion lottery or that $750 million lottery, would you take the annuity or would you take the lump sum?
Bro, that's a difference, because
it's definitely different.
A lottery is some lucky chance shit. This nigga, that's why I'm saying he's worked for 25 years. He should have been being paid for the last 25 years. So the shit he would have been getting paid the fucking annuity, not the lump sum.
So you just compare the fruits of his labor. That's essentially what the masters is, the fruits of your labor. Anytime somebody want to sample something, they want to, you get played. That's where all your royalties come from.
You still got to recoup that though. You still got to send people after them. Oh, you played this on this movie. You owe me money. You got to have people on payroll.
Not all the way. Not necessarily. Sometimes, like in the situation with the Busted Challenge, Nelly had to clear the sample.
Right.
So most of the time they come to you. So yes, this is a two-way treat.
And
it is a two-way treat, but you're comparing the fruits of your labor to prize money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, do I want the residuals from the fruits of my labor, or do I want to give me this money that I haven't earned one lump sum? Or like, free money is free money. Give me the free money. But if I didn't work hard, spend in the studio, smoking all the weed he done smoked, drinking all the lane he done drunk, and
smashing all the women he has smashed.
But it still can't nobody argue this nigga has worked harder than majority of people in the industry.
This is true.
No,
I mean, just consistently.
And he sold the fruits of his labor.
Right.
I love this man bigging up Wayne, talking about he worked harder than most people. Because
I'll never take that. I never take that from him.
We didn't say it was good work or bad work. We just said he worked hard. You know what I'm saying? Hard work, knowledge, hard work.
I don't agree with his music, but I mean, that's one thing that has helped me grow as far as like just seeing artists for artists. Because it's like, as much as I don't like the content, them niggas be working hard. Nigga, it's hard to fucking tour like the whole country. Like it's hard as fuck to tour multiple countries. Like a lot of
sacrifice to go.
Right. It's a lot of.
Speaking from a man who get writer's block, it is hard to write an entire album and 15 mixtapes in 1 year.
Yeah, it's man, that just again show you how fucked up Cash Money did him. Because
I don't think that, because it's like you getting a lump sum. We don't know what plays he got lined up. He could $10 million you can buy this. $300 million you can invest in this. You see what I mean? So $300 million investment in something. If he set it up right and it goes or $100 million, excuse me. If it goes somewhere, he got another play set up, which I hope he does. I don't know if he do or don't. But if he got $100 million play set up, then it makes sense. If he don't, he just want the lump sum just to have it. I mean, I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying is he only want the lump sum because he hadn't been getting paid like he should have been paid the whole time. I can say that he had to fucking sue Cash Money. He had to sue Baby to get the money that he deserved from the deal with Universal. So that's what I'm saying. If you had been getting your 50 million, if you had got your 50 million when you were supposed to get your 50 million, or when you had got this money when you're supposed to get this money, you could have been making plays, and you don't have to bruh. I don't even want to fast forward it, but if we do fast forward it to One Night in Miami, like that was Sam Cooke's whole thing about that. Like, and that's why they killed him. Cause Sam Cooke was owning his fucking masters before niggas had even thought about that shit. The last time it came around where people like really got focused on that was when Prince made it a thing. Made it a
thing again, yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying the only way I can see it being a good play is if you needed that lump sum to invest in something else.
And I feel like Nicki and fucking Drake could probably leverage enough of their network power to have bought that shit or like have made it a better deal than just they shit just be sold.
Nah, that's real.
Because it's like, man, Drake got fucking Nike, bro. Drake is in a
Drake is Drake, man.
Right, Drake is in a whole nother stratosphere, but that's also. That's a good example of the difference. Like Drake was actually getting the money throughout his career that he was supposed to get.
We don't know these people contracts. I ain't been in the room with them. I ain't seen no checks bust down. I don't know. I ain't finna speak on it. But back to these pardons, Kodak Black on the other hand.
I feel like both Lil Wayne and Kodak Black was a waste of a pardon.
I don't think Wayne was. I feel like, bro, Wayne I
agree
feel
with
like
you
Wayne
on that.
did a smart move, bro. Like
he
as
did.
Much as black people give him that shit was smart as fuck.
Yeah, I agree with that part. I'm saying if you're the person handing out pardons and like you're part of the community fighting for people to get pardons, that was a waste of a pardon. Lil Wayne getting a pardon on his part, that shit is a win. Kodak Black getting a pardon on his part, that's a win. But as a person on the outside looking in, I'm like, them niggas could have served that little prison time. Lil Wayne probably was gonna get a year or two in jail. Like,
nah, I think he was fighting 3 years a long ass time.
3 years, but this niggas that's been in jail for 20, 30 years that need pardons.
But I'm not comparing it to niggas that's been in jail 20, 30 years. I'm comparing it to niggas that's been in jail 0 years.
Why compare that shit to people who've been in jail 0 years? The niggas didn't do no crime.
That
you
ain't
ain't
true.
been in jail. Like,
it's people in jail who ain't did crime, and it's people who out of jail that did hella crimes.
And then it's Joe Exotic.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, that shit was definitely a reflection of like the type of president it was.
Oh no, most definitely celebrity in chief.
Yeah.
He was like, who got the juice? Wayne
Right.
and Kodak Black. I'm finna pardon them because then, the streets gonna love me.
Right.
When I come back, the streets gonna love me, B.
Right. Is the streets still gonna love me, B?
That's what Trump was on. Then to Twon point that Joe Exotica,
Did he get pardoned or no?
No, but he thought he was, bro.
They had a limo outside.
Bro, he had hair and makeup in the limo. Like, he was gonna come out like it was gonna shoot part 2 of the documentary. And he
See, I would have, and I know this sound fucked up.
Played itself.
I would have traded Kodak Black or Lil Wayne for Joe Exotica.
Oh, fuck that.
I would have traded both of them for Joe Exotic.
Because Joe Exotica, how long is he in for?
I don't know.
Has he been sentenced yet?
I don't know.
think so.
That nigga is probably gonna be in jail for a really long time. So when I measure it, I'm like, okay, you got a nigga that might get 30, 40 years in jail or 10 years versus a nigga that's gonna be in jail for 1 to 2 years. Let them niggas that's gonna be in there for 1 to 2 years stay in there and let the motherfucker out that's gonna be in there for 10 years.
He got 30, 40 years or something like that.
But you know who got out though?
Who?
Kwame Kilpatrick.
I knew that's who. Yes.
Okay, see,
yes,
now that was a good-
That was a good pardon.
I fuck with that one.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly fuck with that one.
Yeah.
If you do not fuck with that one, then we can have a real discussion. Wayne, Kodak,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I will fuck with a Kwame Kilpatrick, or like even when what's the guy who was the leader of the
Free World.
Nah.
New School.
Nigga. he was executed. He was the leader. Tukey. Like
Jackie Williams, yeah.
Tukey.
Yeah.
That's what this makes me think about. Like, damn, this man changed his whole life, built a whole
Wrote
life
books.
around like trying to get niggas out of gangs, or not even necessarily get them out of gangs, but educate them on what it was really about. Like, yes, he
How it had transformed.
Right.
And all that good stuff.
and he has served all that time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know that's the past and you can know where you can go back, but I'm just saying I'm having this conversation for hopefully for the future. Like, even I don't even want to fuck up.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Angela Davis. Ain't she still on the most wanted list?
Alfani Shakur. Is that who?
That's what she changed her name to?
I think it's Alfani.
I thought that was Tupac Mama.
Yeah,
Afeni Shakur.
Well, it's
you
his
talking about
aunt.
Alfini.
It's Alfini, the one who went to Cuba. They had
That's
broke out of prison.
Alfini is Tupac's mom.
Oh, damn. It was somebody Shakur. They broke out of prison, didn't kill one person, and they said it was like the caliber of a Navy SEAL breakout because they broke them out and didn't know they was gone until she was in Cuba. And yeah, she should get off of the America's Most Wanted list.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
If that's who you was talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I was.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know her
Angela
name.
Davis.
I don't think that was Angela Davis. Angela Davis just did a speech not too long ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Sometimes we woke and sometimes we fake woke. But you know who the fuck we talking about. You know who we talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, so I guess we should start the episode then off that.
No, it's cool because I was telling my cousin, she was like, I'm finna go see Angela Davis speak. And I was like, bro, the education that I grew up on, Angela Davis died in the 70s. Like, what do you mean? You about to go hear her speech. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, but this is another edition of, we're going to get real cheesy and do it real light. My Homeboys podcast.
We're not going to introduce each other.
Yeah, I mean, he just skipped all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. He only been doing this podcast since day one.
Right. It been on, well, there was a.
He been on over 90% of episodes.
Yeah.
He's shooting about 95%.
But I figure the people know who they talking to, don't they?
All right.
I did do it wrong though. We gonna introduce?
You started it, so you never mind, Lord Jesus.
Well, you know, since I done flubbed it up, I'm gonna introduce my homeboys. You know what I'm saying? To my left, I know y'all can't see it, but I got my, wonderful Herman Henley shirt wearing.
Herman Hensley. Okay.
Yeah. Henley shirt wearing
just gonna go with
homeboy, Eric, you seeing all the H's? You seeing all the H's?
Every time he always introduced me first, right?
He always try to roast you on the low.
And he always fuck up.
He do it always.
Every time it'd be like, bruh, if you know we be on this podcast and you know you gonna introduce me, just think of the shit you gonna say, prepare it all week, and then when we come to the podcast.
Man, I ain't trying to have you on my mind like that. That's
in the words of Eminem and 8 Mile, write some new stuff, make it suspenseful, and you can take the mic home with you.
Man, this is my homeboy.
Oh no, I was gonna do both of y'all.
Okay,
because I got my, you know what I'm saying.
You gonna fuck up both of us.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit y'all with it.
If I want to hear this,
go ahead.
I got my Moorish, more powerful.
oh Lord,
Mo Fire, Morehouse Brothering. Can I say brothering since you're Morehouse Brothering and I'm not necessarily a Morehouse brother? I'm just saying like that's your elk.
my elk. I own animals now.
Homeboy Twon.
Okay.
Yeah. You know.
And who are you? Since you introduced,
Yeah,
everybody.
you introduce yourself too, homie.
Man, I introduce myself, man. You know, it's just me, Napoleon, aka Dynamite.
All right, and once again, this is my Homeboys podcast.
Man, we got a good show lined up for you guys. See how it sounds better when you do it correctly? You know what I'm saying? Everything done in decency and in order.
Yeah, man.
All right, man, we got a good show lined up for y'all today, man. Our intros keep getting longer and longer.
Oh, it was super long last time.
Oh, yeah, it
It's
was.
growth, man.
Yeah.
That means we leaning into the bullshit more. That's where a majority of our conversation lies, in the bullshit.
I'd rather be with you, know your. Never mind. Let's.
Hey, they rather be with us and all our bullshit, man.
All right,
Yeah.
so.
Well, okay, I don't want to Beauregard it, but shit, since we was talking about the Masters and shit, let's go ahead and talk about one night in Miami.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Did y'all see that?
I did. I watched it. I can't say I actively watched it, but I did. You know, it was on.
Yeah.
I watched it, and it was.
Oh, so you
definitely
didn't
some
pay
highlights.
attention?
No, I paid attention, but I didn't like. I knew
It didn't have your undivided.
It didn't have my undivided attention.
Now, I've seen that thing about sometimes. I
For
can't
real?
even lie.
Damn.
So I was on Instagram in the stories, and they had a sneak preview advertisement, and I scrolled up, signed up for it, and I'm like, I ain't gonna get it. You know, I got it, so I watched it the Tuesday before it came out.
Damn.
Like I watched it like maybe the first week in January, and so I watched it that day. Then when it came out 2 weeks later, I watched it too many times, at least twice one day.
I don't know what the hell been going on with me, but I've been so disconnected from like everything.
You ain't been on Clubhouse,
right? And like I didn't even hear about the movie. I fucking was recording another podcast and somebody mentioned it, and that's how I found the movie and watched it.
That's what it's like when you're working, though, man. So,
I guess so, man. I've been so focused on the fucking. I ain't gonna say the money like in a nasty way, but just like handling my finances a lot better. I've been so focused on it.
Yeah, no, that's what's up.
I definitely want to give a couple of shout outs to, and I had their names, I don't know their names anymore, but the actors who played Jim
I
Brown,
knew you was gonna say that.
and I'm doing it in the order of the least impressive. Like all of them impressed me, but what least impressed me to the most impressive: Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Leslie Odom from, I know his name because he was in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And the guy who played Muhammad Ali stole the show.
Yeah.
So the thing about biopics for me, I like for when the actors or actresses look like the character they're portraying.
Yeah.
And hair and makeup, costume, they did a phenomenal job.
So we ain't did this in a long time. Let's rank it. You ranked yours already.
Well, the actors.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, bet. So
So-
the guy who played Jim Brown, I met Jim Brown in college. Jim Brown old don't look like Jim Brown of young. So if you look at bald head, mustache, original gangster Jim Brown, he ain't look like that when he was in the NFL.
Right.
Go back and look at them throwback pictures. You're like, oh, he didn't like that actor. Jim Brown, Malcolm X, which was probably one of the best Malcolms I've seen. And a lot of people done played Malcolm. Leslie Odom playing Sam Cooke, and the guy who played Muhammad Ali. That's my order.
Is Jim Brown first?
Jim Brown's last. So it's 4-3, 2-1. Muhammad Ali being the most impressive. That was.
I thought you said Malcolm X was the most impressive.
No. He was the best Malcolm I've seen, but compared to
even compared to Denzel.
Because Denzel didn't really look like Malcolm X.
He didn't really look like. He did a great. Now Denzel was great. However, because I think this one was more relatable and it showed more depth to the character.
Yeah. Because, see, that's the thing. Like, with Denzel, like, we know Denzel as Malcolm X, but it also creates, like, two different images of Malcolm X. Because when you see Malcolm X, actual Malcolm X, it's like, oh, he don't look shit like Denzel Washington.
I mean, he favored, they did their best to make him look like Denzel playing Malcolm. But it was parts of that movie where he was still Denzel.
Yeah. Now so I'll say my most impressive was Malcolm X.
That was the impressed you the most?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then Muhammad Ali, then Jim Brown, and then Sam Cooke.
Oh, you got Leslie Odom last?
Yeah, because I mean, like I don't know Sam Cooke didn't do nothing for me in that movie. Like. Now, and I don't mean it like he didn't do a great job, because he definitely did a great job. It's just like when I heard the dude talk like Jim Brown, like he definitely don't look like the Jim Brown I remember, because I remember old Jim Brown.
You remember Original Gangster?
Right.
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Right. Every time I think about it,
I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm sorry.
Yes, he was.
He was.
When it was him and that other dude when they were. No, that wasn't Jim Brown. That wasn't Jim Brown. That wasn't Jim Brown.
He was in Original Gangsters though.
Yes. Every time I think about Jim Brown,
think of Original
Gangsters. So the voice sounded like Jim Brown.
He killed that.
Muhammad Ali, that dude looked and sounded like Muhammad Ali. He did a better like voice impersonation of Muhammad Ali than Will Smith.
Will Smith didn't do a good impersonation.
Yeah. Right. He sounded like Muhammad Ali.
Will Smith had the cadence, but it sounded like, if you go back and watch Ali now, it sounded like Will was struggling to breathe the whole movie.
Yeah. This dude sounded like Muhammad Ali. And then just like when I went looking at Malcolm X, I thought I was really looking at Malcolm X.
Right.
Like I felt like...
Yeah, it was glimpses. It was like, damn.
Even when they recreated the photos, like him underneath the water, I was like, bruh, like this is...
Yeah, that was eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Even when they recreated the photo in the bar, when Muhammad Ali was yelling at Malcolm X, I was like, bro, this is... Like, what... Like, this... Yeah, it was... If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. Even the... So most people don't like when plays are turned into movies. And before I go down that avenue, I'm gonna let Napoleon.
I was wondering. Well, nah. I mean, my thing is, like I said, I passively watched it, but from watching it, I'd say Jim Brown. And I don't know the actors' names.
Are you going from top to bottom or bottom to top?
I'm going from top to bottom. Okay. I like Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali. Then I like Sam Cooke because Buddy could actually sing, but he didn't necessarily give me Sam. I don't know. It was something about it. Like Sam Cooke was, I liked it because he could. I felt like Sam Cooke actually drove the story. I'll say that. So I feel like he had a very vital role
absolutely.
In the movie.
He had a vital, but yet his role I feel like was the least important.
Well,
like it was like he started a controversy, if you want to call it controversy, but he could have, when he left the hotel room, he could have not have came back and nobody would have missed him. If that makes sense. Like that.
Well, no, I don't agree with that because like that was the whole Sam Cooke made Malcolm X relevant to that, just being in that room and like them having the night, because Sam Cooke made Malcolm X prove why he deserved to be in that circle of people, and Malcolm X pushed Sam Cooke to prove that he deserved to be in the room with that circle of people. Yeah. If that makes sense, because, and the reason why I say that is because Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali were all stars. Like they were all the top of their career stars. Malcolm X was just a pastor. You know what I'm saying? Or he was like a Muslim minister. He hadn't like
ascended into his
right.
Yeah.
So that's why
he left the Nation of Islam and all that good stuff.
And that's why I say like Sam Cooke pushed him to show why he should be in the room, because it's like, why are you here? Why do you deserve to be here? And he showed that reason. And then from Malcolm X's perspective, it's like, we all fighting for the people. You seem to be the only person that's trying to like integrate with the people that don't love you, and like you don't seem to be using your voice to actually speak about what we have all kind of agreed to fight for, because Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and Jim Brown were activists already. Like they were already actively being activists, and Sam Cooke didn't seem to be fitting that mold. So that's why I'm like, that's where the story was definitely, in my opinion, about those two.
I mean, then to the point where Sam Cooke had that realization in the room where he was kind of like, I think he said some artist that came out with a song and then he was like, I'm mad that I didn't do it first. I'm paraphrasing, spoiler alert, and all that good stuff. And then that's where, I was born by the river, all that good stuff. Not necessarily that's where it came from, but it kind of showed that transformation. So I like that character arc for Sam Cooke. But then I'd say Muhammad Ali last, just because, bro, Muhammad Ali was Muhammad Ali. Like, I don't think you can ever contain that in a person. Like, whether it be a Will Smith or whether it be anybody. It's like, bro, that dude, Muhammad Ali to me is the definition of real. So it's kind of like somebody acting, trying to be him. I think other people would do, well, not other people would do better jobs. I just don't think you could ever encapsulate that in a role. That's
all of them men like stand on that caliber though. Yeah. Every single one of them in their own way stand in the same, like that was the dope thing about it, and that's why they made the movie, because it's all, you got all of these influential black men in the room that hold the same weight in history. If technically, if you want to be,
well,
Malcolm X holds. Malcolm X probably holds the most weight in history.
Let me finish that. So what I'm saying is for Muhammad Ali, almost like he was on Instagram before Instagram was a thing.
I got you. He was a character.
He was a character. You literally saw every I don't know if we saw every facet of this man's life, but with the Nation of Islam, you're always like, it's always some secrecy to it. So Malcolm X, you don't necessarily see the full Malcolm X. With Sam Cooke, he an artist, so you know what I'm saying, you only see him when he performing, he do interviews and all this. But Muhammad Ali, people would literally just follow this man around with a camera and he just talk for nothing. Like, oh, I'm finna just go on Sesame Street and talk and all that. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you saw so much of his character. Well, it's kind of hard to portray. You know what I'm saying?
But
that makes sense.
What you're saying is true, but it's like, okay, you can only compare Muhammad Ali to Jim Brown. Because Sam Cooke and Malcolm X were assassinated.
Right.
So
that's real.
And Sam Cooke died way before Malcolm X.
I'm still processing that assassination piece. That's hard.
I mean, of course, if you read how Sam Cooke died, it's a whole cover up.
Yeah.
I believe two people were assassinated. Paul Williams from the Temptations and Sam Cooke. We can go into a whole deep end about that later. But yes, those two were assassinated. Malcolm X and Sam Cooke was assassinated, so they didn't have the opportunity
to live out
and let people in. And then Jim Brown's a low-key introvert.
True.
So, you know what I'm saying? You can't be like, oh, Malcolm X, because he have access, because he's an extrovert. You might, people who need to get drunk to have a good time, and people you just need some, oh yeah, let's do it. They just need some air, not their cocaine. I'm just saying.
I was wondering,
not cocaine, but
one night in Miami.
They just need to be breathing. You know what I'm saying? I had to clarify. I know this guy across from me.
Well, and then I think it was dope because you got to hear why Muhammad Ali was like Muhammad Ali, because he was modeling himself after that wrestler.
Yeah, like Gorgeous. I forget his name. Not
Gorgeous George.
It was Gorgeous George.
I think so. I think so. But I thought it was
the part
dope.
I missed.
What I felt
you gotta
like
go back and watch it.
I'm gonna watch it again.
What I feel like was the most dope thing about this movie is you got to see these black men who were extremely passionate about whatever their niche was, be in the room with each other and like come from different places. Like with Malcolm X being, you know, a part of the Nation of Islam and being Muslim, and, you know, Muhammad Ali converting into that at that point. Sam Cooke 100% not being Muslim.
Definitely wasn't about that life at all.
Jim Brown definitely not being a Muslim, but them just being in the room and having conversation that is like important. Like it just showed like we have a history in this country of them showing us as if we can't exist in like our differences as a community. Like everybody has to be sectioned off based off of your beliefs and shit like that. And it was like back then, I just feel like there were people, it didn't matter if you was Christian or not. And I think
that's true.
I think we're kind of recreating that now, you know, like in this generation where it's like you don't only have to talk to other black men because y'all in the same religion or y'all serve in the same church and stuff like that. Like you can have a conversation whether you be a rich black man, because Malcolm X wasn't rich at all.
Yeah,
like,
by no means.
Like Sam Cooke was the richest. Then you had like, you know, maybe at that time Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali being tied for being rich. Well, Jim Brown was probably more rich than Muhammad Ali at that point because he was already an NFL star. Yeah. And, you know, Muhammad Ali had just won the championship.
Well, back then the NFL, they could have been the same because the NFL probably wasn't getting paid that much back then.
Nah, they weren't.
But he was already in movies.
Yeah, and he was starting movies.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, I think that's a part that maybe gets overlooked sometimes.
I like the aspect because they were in a hotel room. So it was one night in Miami, and then they're in a hotel room. So when they're in the hotel room, and then they go, so it's almost like they're, like you say, they're encapsulated or locked in from the outside world. And every time they went outside, that's when they would be exposed to whiteness. And then it would be unsafe, and then somewhat of a different dynamic. Like you could tell that they weren't being them true selves when they were outside the hotel room, but when they were inside the hotel room, they were actually having like serious conversations, and it was more so like cerebral. When it's outside, it was almost like a performance, and that's kind of true to blackness, you know.
Yeah, and Sam Cooke said that in the movie when he was talking to Muhammad Ali. I know you probably weren't paying attention to that part. You know what I'm saying? But back to the point I was gonna make earlier. With this movie, a lot of people don't like it when plays are turned into movies, because plays are heavily driven on the dialogues and the monologues. Yep. And I believe this movie did a great job of, like, movies let you explore the whole universe that they create. Like Marvel Universe, you get to explore the whole universe. This movie did a great job of letting you explore the whole universe, but yet still giving you crazy amount of dialogues. I would say that one thing that this movie did well, I think this movie did that well compared to Ma Rainey's.
I knew you was going to say that.
You know what I'm saying? Even though Ma Rainey's is a great movie, but I felt like I was watching a play with a budget.
Right.
Watching the Ma Rainey movie.
Yeah, because there wasn't, you didn't get to see what these people look like outside of that room at all.
Right. Because, I mean, essentially it's the same thing. They one room. Like Ma Rainey had 3 scenes. They had the recording studio, the weighing area, and outside in the cars.
Right.
This movie had 3 scenes: the roof, the pool, and if you flip,
I don't say it had more because
roughly, but
because they did the flashbacks and all that good stuff. To your point,
right? But those were just flashbacks. I'm talking about like where most of the action actually occurred.
Right.
Because all that stuff could have been just B-roll.
Right. No, I see what you're saying. That and that's why it was done in a good job to show parts of the universe, and it didn't feel like it's the play. To your point,
and I can we just I hate criticizing movies, but can we talk about just one thing that we didn't like about the movie? If y'all have just one thing y'all don't like. I have one thing I don't like.
I want to hear.
You don't have anything you don't like?
No.
You have anything? I want to go last.
I mean, I want to go. I want to enough.
I want to go last.
I want to go last. Let me see if I can sit up here and think about one thing I ain't like about the movie.
I mean, we know you didn't watch it, so you didn't like how it did keep your attention.
I guess I would say if I had to pick one thing, they didn't show much of Jim Brown's like aspect of the universe.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Like Like, I mean, you got to see him on set at the end, retiring from football, but you didn't get to see, like, you got to see Sam Cooke perform for the white people.
They opened up with the Jim Brown aspect, and that kind of set the tone for the whole movie.
Damn, did I miss it?
Remember when he went to visit his friend?
Oh, I must have missed that.
Oh, you missed that. So that kind of set the tone for the whole movie.
Because the first
I remember the fight.
That's
the first thing I remember.
Jim Brown scene set the tone for the whole movie. Go back and rewatch it. He go visit a friend, and he shows up at the house.
Oh, I do remember that.
That set the tone for the whole movie. I do remember that. And that's how, after that one scene, I was like, oh, this movie's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I remember what you were talking about because they were sitting on the porch.
They were sitting on the porch.
I know what you're talking about.
And that set the tone for the whole movie.
I gotta check it out.
Go check that out. All right,
no, it's definitely a movie you can watch more than once. But we're gonna.
I've seen it 7 times, but that's just me. But yeah, the one thing I didn't like about the movie, and y'all should already know where this is headed, because I grew up on Michael Jackson.
Okay.
And Michael Jackson emulated and almost idolized Jackie Wilson.
Oh, they shitting on Jackie Wilson.
The whole movie, bro. The whole movie. I had to go do research on Jackie Wilson. I was like, okay, Jackie Wilson was a butthole, but at first, as a Michael fan, I was like, why they doing my boy Jackie like this? So that's the only thing I didn't like. I had to go. It made me. I always watch a movie and do research.
Because they definitely shitted on Jackie Wilson.
Yeah, Jackie Wilson.
They took a steaming dump on
him. Oh yeah.
Because they didn't even give Jackie Wilson a fair chance of like, oh well, he's this and this. It was like, he's this.
Like, hey, he's one. But I did research, and Jackie Wilson was I could believe that actually happened. I don't think that because it was inspired by true events. We don't know what really happened that night in Miami when all 4 of them together, but that night in Boston probably is 100% factual.
Nah, man. I feel like it was a great movie though, and I think it's things like this is being able to play with historical figures and blackness, and this even making it to the screen. I mean, it's not a silver screen right now. It's Amazon Prime or whatever your streaming service of choice, but it's even to play with these characters and these story arcs and having these conversations, I think is just like a big win. Whether it be the Ma Rainey's or the One Night in Miami or the Sylvie's Love or the American Skin or any of these things, I just think
or the Lupin.
Or Lupin. Yeah, I think it's fire.
I think it's fucking dope that like our legends are being retold in like a more fair light. Like, and I mean, like, in a black light, like what we experience them as. Like, I feel like in majority of the movies when they do a biography, except for Malcolm X, and I think that's why we praise Malcolm X so much, because Spike Lee did Malcolm X. So it wasn't like, it was, like anytime they talk about Martin Luther King or anything, they have to put in the negative scandal parts about it. You know what I'm saying? And they also they kind of got to steal the energy away from how dope these people are by trying to put the scandal at the end.
They gotta remind you that we ain't perfect, but when they make a George Washington film, this motherfucker didn't do anything wrong.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, so what?
Shout out to Hamilton, because they show you the good, bad, and ugly.
Hamilton is weird though.
It is weird. I love it.
It's weird because it's like black people. I think you mentioned this. Black people.
He said the oppressed playing the oppressor.
Right.
Man, you got to get over that, man. It's art.
I get it.
It's art,
but cool.
It's art and history, and I love history. I love art. So
so honestly, and it's maybe like a hater or a critic. Or whatever you want to call it. Or all three.
Two things can be true.
Yeah, I just think it's overhyped. So not that I don't think it's good. It's just that I feel like people, like, it's almost like, I don't know, people get into this bandwagon thing and be like, oh, who's your favorite basketball player? LeBron or Jordan. Or who's your favorite, what's your, what type of car do you want? Oh, I want a Lambo. Like, you don't know shit about nothing, but you just gonna say the shit that one thing you know. So it's like Hamilton is like, for white people to a certain extent, oh, I love Hamilton because it like make them feel like they woke. But it's like, no, bro, you don't really, you not woke and you don't really like Hamilton.
But have you watched it?
Yeah, I seen it. I watched 30 minutes of it and was like,
okay, so you haven't seen it. You haven't watched it. 30 minutes of a 3-hour
Three
production.
hour, yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
I mean,
Well,
It's nothing.
I would say I'm on the same page as you because it just didn't like.
All right,
Ain't
so
connect.
I would say it doesn't appeal to you,
Yeah,
which
it
is because essentially what you're saying,
right, yeah. That's what I'm
Because you
saying.
don't get the hype and it doesn't appeal to you. But Hamilton is wonderfully done, and it's a very factual piece of work.
Well, put me on then. So since I love this because it's like just because I don't like something doesn't mean I don't like it. It might mean that I don't know what to look for. And a lot of times people go around saying, "Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that," and then, bro, you watching it wrong. You know what I'm saying? You seeing it from this scope, but you're supposed to look at it through this lens. So put me on like
Right.
what's
So
dope?
this is how I connected to it. Because the first time I watched it, I went in expecting, I knew it was a musical. I was went in there expecting it to be like the Newsies or like a Disney movie where there's gonna be a whole bunch of R&B singing or classical singing. And it's rap. It's legit hip hop from beginning to end. There's a song called The 10 Duel Commandments, how they explain how they do a duel. And that song is based off of, just by the title alone, you should already know,
10
10 crack commandments.
Yeah.
So they literally took Biggie's song, remixed it, and wrote it to fit this scenario. As a history buff, a lot of stuff that is in this, like they literally study Alexander Hamilton and his connection in his love letters to write this. So this movie is historically accurate. I mean, besides, them dropping a hot 16 every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, it's legit historically accurate. So it's not like A Night in Miami where it's inspired by true events. This is actually based off true events. And they wrote rap songs about these events that happen. Like, spur alert for everybody who didn't pay attention in history class. Aaron Burr shot Hamilton after a beef that happened majority of their life. And that is in the film. They show you how they met, when they start beefing, why they start beefing, and then they actually freestyled, even though they're acting like they're writing the letters and reading the letters, but they was freestyling the beef to each other in the movie.
I'll check it out again. I mean, y'all give me homework, man.
Bro, they got in because Hamilton was like low key smashing his wife's sister. They got that in there. So like it's historically accurate. So like it's like going to watch a play and like say you're a black kid at elementary school and you was going to the theater and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna take the Three Little Pigs. Then they start rapping to you, oh, this actually doesn't suck. That's Hamilton.
Right. What you was gonna say?
Ahead,
I like it because of that. Like, so I liked it, when, I don't know if y'all remember, but when I was coming up, some people listening to this, they might be like, what? They used to roll a TV into the classroom,
right?
And put a VHS. What's a VHS? And what's
I got VHSs at the house.
And what's
right
a
now.
picture tube TV? Like, what is it?
I used to call them pregnant TVs.
Oh, right. So when I was watching, I was like, bro, this shit would have been so fire to watch in school, but now I'm like, do I really want to dedicate 3 hours to it?
So like people like me who like musicals, who love history, this is like right up my alley.
Nah, I get it. I'm gonna recheck it out. I'm gonna rewatch it.
So can I throw a curveball into the whole podcast?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it now.
All right, because we've been talking about movies for a good 30 minutes now.
Okay.
And I had text you so we could talk about this on Woke Wednesday, and we never did, right? So, but because you mentioned like, okay, you got to teach me how to watch something, right? You said something like that a few moments ago.
Most definitely.
So a lot of episodes ago, you mentioned the Nutty Professor, right?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Huh?
You love that.
That's my favorite movie. You talked about that?
Man, we was talking about the Nutty Professor and how it's like the same thing as Plato's allegory of the cave, because it's like he's an everyman and he just happens to be smart. He tries to show his family out of the cave, and they just kind of
continue. Try to
we'll hold him back.
I'll go back and listen. Yeah. Continue though.
So I was watching Life recently, and a clip of Life came up, right? So I'm like, I never watched Life in this aspect, but in that movie, you had every representation of a black man, and how jail could kind of interact with whatever they are. So I'll just say, so we got Claude, right? Claude was
Banks.
Claude Banks was the straight-laced, college-educated black man, right? Who he got hemmed up into some shit that wasn't even his fault.
Bad
right?
place, wrong time.
Right.
Yep.
In prison all these years, right? Then you got Ray the hustler, but he got great business sense.
Ray Gibson.
Right. You got Ray Gibson, right? So you got the college man, you got the business man, then you got Biscuit, he's the gay man. You know what I'm saying?
Can't go back to my mama not like this.
Right.
I just watched the movie again too, my bad.
Nah,
not like
keep
this.
going. I'm loving this.
Not like this.
So then you got Cookie, the chef. You know what I'm saying? This dude, Cookie, he's a chef in prison, you know, but like, I'm gonna keep going. Jangling, he was the mentally impaired person.
Jangling.
Right? Then you got Goldmouth. Goldmouth was like the...
You gonna eat your cornbread? In case y'all didn't know his real name.
Goldmouth was the big, I would say the athletic build dude. Like, you know, like he's just a big dude who, whatever happened.
The big scary black man.
Right.
But he was actually gentle.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
Then you got Willie Long. Willie Long was actually the youth because Willie Long had been in prison since he was like a kid, right? So then you got Can't Get Right. Can't Get Right. He's the athlete, and then it shows like how if you're an athlete, that transcends everything, even jail. Kind of like if we relate it to now, you got Kodak Black and Lil Wayne. They're not the athlete, they the musicians. They're celebrities.
The entertainers per se. Yeah.
So I wrote all this shit down because I never thought about it like that. But there was like every representation of
You said Willie, what was it, Willie who?
Willie Long.
Who was that?
He was the so Willie Long was like he was a light-skinned dude, right?
Most of them light skin.
They all went to they all lasted to the end, right? Willie Long, I think, died last before they escaped. But if he was the guy that was in prison since he was like a little kid.
Then did you got any more?
That was it.
So I will say, even to that point.
Oh, radio was
The scientist. He fixed everything.
He was the electrical engineer guy. Like he was. So I said all of this to show like how back in that time, like this was an experience that any black man could have had.
Oh, Willie Long was my boy Baba. He was in How High, and he played Barry Gordy in the Temptation movie.
Yeah.
And then I'll add to that and say, what was Buddy with the gun line? Like, don't cross that. That's the gun line.
Oh, the overseer.
The overseer? Yeah. Every representation of a black man, because it's always that one nigga that's gonna be step and fetch it,
quote unquote, the Uncle Tom, the Uncle Tom Ruckus, that character,
right?
Yeah.
So that is I never even noticed that. That's deep.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, like Eddie Murphy.
So they said Eddie take like stories, but try to make it deep and meaningful and get a lesson out of it. He said that. I was like, well, not life until just now.
Right.
Yeah. You mentioned it, but I didn't know. Okay, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And it's like I think like back in the day, like when I feel like I give Eddie Murphy even more genius because he was able to fit that in under the radar. Like you gotta imagine if he had came out and said that this was what this is about.
He couldn't even mention that.
Yeah, he couldn't even have made that movie. But it's like there's so many nuggets that was left in like that culture of like movie making that's all black. You know what I'm saying? Like we always have had like even when you think of a Spike Lee movies, bro, like Spike Lee movies were so dope because like they were very intellectual, like, and he included jazz in the shit.
Yeah.
But they were
musicals.
Right. They were very thought provoking.
And I would say the details in the movie, like, so I watched I watched stuff. So I watched Life recently, and then you know how YouTube be listening to you, right?
Yeah.
So I watched Life I'm cracking it, jokes, quoting lines, and then the first video that popped up on my YouTube was a mini, probably like 15-minute documentary, just talking about all the details in life that was actually accurate, and they showed pictures from these Mississippi farm camps, and like you would think that they shot that in Mississippi, even though they did shoot. You would think they shot at the actual prison. How accurate it was, from the uniforms to the guards to the gun line, like, all that's 100% accurate. We already know the why only pies was accurate,
right, right. And then I will say, like, I mean, Eddie is Eddie, Martin is Martin, but it comes up every now and then. It's a YouTube video. It pops up, like you said, YouTube be listening on the movie. I think it's the Black Knight or the First Night or something like that.
With Martin Lawrence,
with Martin Lawrence. In that movie, he made sure that they called him a Moor. Like, they didn't say he was black because he went back in time. They always call him Moor. He's like, that's the Moor dude. It's the Moor. Get the Moor and all that good stuff. And you like, I don't even know what. Like, as a kid, I'm watching this movie like, what's a Moor? Like,
you didn't pay attention in history.
They didn't teach me. They
definitely taught you.
They ain't teach me about Moor.
Bro, they didn't tell you. Yeah, the Moors. Bro, I'm about to put you on game. You probably didn't know this. A Moor who's been to America was Christopher Columbus' navigator and was telling the whole time you going the wrong way.
They didn't teach me that.
They didn't teach you that?
No.
Bro, yes.
Not at all.
Yes. And then
I need to send my kids to your school.
Bro, yeah. I mean, I went to the school that you went to.
Not in the elementary school?
Nah, I learned this in high school, bro.
Oh.
You know how you didn't pay attention to a night in Miami?
Hey, man.
I know I wasn't paying attention in history class. On God, I never did. I never enjoyed.
So when I got to college, I read a book called The African Civilization of America, I believe it's called, by Sheikh Antajab. And then it will tell you.
I got the book in the room.
You do?
It's red and black and then yellow letters.
Bro, I was copying pages in the library. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Well, I bought it, so that's why I still got it.
But if you read it, they'll tell you about the African influence around the entire world.
Oh yeah.
And so they'll like, Africans, more specifically the Moors, been traveling the world.
Yeah. And a lot of people will say that the Moors helped Europeans in their conquest and like taking over the world.
Yeah, because they was the navigators. Yeah. They knew where they was going.
Yeah.
Like, you want some spices? I'll show you some spices. There's some places, you know what I'm saying?
But people will try to tell that history like, oh, the Moors gave them slavery. Like they they were like, this is how you take on our people and stuff like that.
They always try to do that and blame it on us. They find one black person that owns slaves and be like, see, black people own slaves
but
too. But
slavery, indentured servants were treated way different than African slaves in America or native slaves in America. Like, because black people, I don't know, I believe black people were here before that shit happened. Like, I just believe that they took those black people into captivity.
Oh no, Olmecs definitely were.
They were. Yeah. I believe.
It's a book called "They Came Before Columbus," and they definitely prove and show that they were here, like from Georgia to California. Here.
Hey, if you really got that Sheikh Antajab book, I need to read it again.
I look for it. I know it's around there in the room somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to bring up Life because I just thought about it when we were talking about movies. Like,
that's extra dope.
Yeah.
That's how now I got, man. I told y'all giving me homework. I got 3 movies I gotta watch.
And what made me like really put it in that perspective was like, you remember the scene where Can't Get Right got the girl pregnant and they had all of the prisoners, the characters from the movie lined up, and it was like in the What was his name? The warden was walking around with her baby trying to hold it up to all their face. And it was like, that's my baby. And I got to see like, oh shit, I got to see them all in line, all at one time in the scene. And then I saw the Raised Boom Boom Room scene, and it was like, they all played a part in Raised Boom Boom Room. Like,
that's low-key one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Boy, go get us a Worcestershire sauce. Whip your ass.
Bruh, that was it's a very funny but tragic movie. weren't we talking about this recently?
Yeah, my wife hates. Well, I'm not gonna say she hates the movie, but she's like, it's not a comedy. I'm like, low key, it's not. It just it's a drama that just so happened to be funny because you got 50 comedians in it. Anybody from, even Anthony Anderson, even though he's not a true stand-up comedian, he's a funny dude. He's a comic. Yeah. He's a comic. He's not a stand-up. He's a comic.
That was a really fucking good movie.
It's dope.
And Eddie Murphy, I feel like him and Spike Lee did a very great job of putting on multiple actors and consistently working with them. Quentin Tarantino does that too, where it's
still got to slap him when I see him though. He just
feels like he can say negative. I guess this is gonna be the movie episode. So I was talking to somebody recently, and I was like, certain directors love certain actors, and you will always find them in their work.
Can we say, I want to go on the record to say that Samuel L. Jackson is the GOAT. Just acting. He's the GOAT.
Samuel or Denzel?
Samuel L. Jackson by a long shot.
Denzel's more selective, and he's more meticulous with his movie roles. Samuel Jackson said he don't turn down movie roles.
Samuel Jackson has been every character that you can be in a movie.
He's been all the crackheads.
He's been the crackheads in fucking...
He led the Avengers.
School Days.
He was
Jungle Fever.
Right.
He Juice. You know what I'm saying? He was all the crackheads.
He wasn't in Juice.
Yes, he was. That nigga, he was the arcade owner. Trying to talk to the young chick.
And then he was, Pulp Fiction to Marvel.
This man's in this man,
Coach Carter, which is an underrated movie.
Absolutely. This man has acted in more movies than probably anybody else in Hollywood. And his range of roles, you can't typecast Samuel L. Jackson. As much as we know this nigga Yale, and as much as we know him, right? As much as we know him for Deep Blue Sea, Dave Chappelle making fun
Snakes
of that, right? You cannot.
Yeah, he's done trash movies, but he's also done great movies.
I wouldn't say ain't no movie. Well, I want to say ain't no movie Samuel did is trash, but
he just listed Snakes on a Plane.
But I was saying just for the simple fact that he's in it. Yeah. So it's tied to him.
No, I'm letting you know that Snakes on a Plane is trash.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea was good. I like
Deep Blue Sea was historic. Why? Because it was the first film that the black man lived in.
But he died. He might as well have died. He had much rather die.
Who? LL?
LL didn't die, but he got bit by a shark. He blew the kitchen up. He almost drowned. That was the worst day at work, bro. Other than RoboCop, he had the worst day at work film. Because RoboCop, I don't know if you noticed, in the first 5 minutes, he got shot up 159,000 times, and they had to turn him into a robot.
Then they wouldn't let him quit.
Then it was his first day at work. That's your first day? Well, you can't get no worse than this. Yeah, because I'm dead.
Man, have y'all seen the this guy did just a little rant about how in all the fucking movies where the world is exploding,
I saw there's a black president.
That shit's fucking hilarious.
Right, but he's 100% right though. There's always the black president when the world's about to end. But when we had the black president,
everything was fucking.
Everything was great.
Well, no,
gas that went down to $2 a gallon.
Trump was on the way.
So the world was about to end.
Yeah, so he's saying the next time y'all want to have a 2012 or Armageddon, that the president need to be orange.
And if you gonna have a black president, they better not fucking set off one bomb, fucking set off a firecracker or nothing in there.
Right. Nah, it's a good rant.
I gotta see the video. It's hilarious.
I forget the comedian's name, but
Ron Taylor.
Well, Ryan Taylor. So I saw it on Ryan Davis' page. So
yeah, Ryan Davis reposted Ron's video.
Okay, yeah,
that was Ron in the video talking. I know because I actually like him. He's funny.
Yeah, he's that's probably my first video I remember seeing of him. But yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny as shit, bro. And he does not look like a funny dude. This nigga has a afro, like this type of afro with glasses.
As he points at the mic, the popper.
Right. He got one of them smooth ass, always the same shape afros that nobody really rock.
That you can't even touch. You nigga can't go to sleep.
Right. He don't put no naps in them hoes. He not using one of them sponges on his shit. He picking that shit out to perfection every day. And he got glasses.
Look like me in high school, man. They used to call me Toadstool because my afro was so perfect.
What's old buddy name? Kyle. Y'all remember Kyle Lewis?
Kyle Lewis? Yeah. Kyle Lewis afro.
Imagine that afro on a black dude with glasses.
Damn.
Oh, man. So I'll go ahead and start off the final thoughts, man. Major shout outs. I've been shouting them out all week. Go to Stefan Miller and Cora Miller. Their product, Young King Hairlines, launched in Target recently. And short story, I was in Target. I bought some leave-in conditioner. I was looking for the oil. They were sold out the oil. Somebody walked up to me, was like, "What you got here?" And I was able, you ain't know this my boy product. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
you was proud.
I was proud. This is my first time actually walking into a Target or a Walmart and actually knowing the owner of the brand I was actually buying. So that was a dope experience for me. Second final thought is shout out to my little cousin, Colin Fields. We did a trendsetter conversation with him yesterday.
Check that out.
Check it out. It's on our Instagram page. Fields Fitness 2001 is his Instagram. Go check that out. Amazing journey, amazing story. And he my family. And his motivational Mondays are every Monday. They're wonderful. He produces all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Eric, you want to go out? Because Eric, you gonna hit him with that wham, man. So I'm gonna just let you go last. But my final thoughts, since y'all gave me homework, I was sitting up here thinking about black cinema that I like, and if y'all have not seen it, go check out. So what we got? We got Life that we got to rewatch.
Yeah.
We got a One Night in Miami that we got to watch.
Hamilton
that we got to watch.
Alexander Hamilton.
Sylvie's Way.
Oh, Sylvie's Way's down here.
That was a great movie. We didn't get to it.
I ain't really get to get my hot take on it.
And I'm glad you didn't. We don't need that on the record.
But I will say,
no, don't even say it.
No. On a higher, more prolific thought, just like Life, if you have not seen If Beale Street Could Talk,
seen that.
That movie is mind blowing. It's like Life, where it's not a good movie. It's not a happy movie. But knowing the black experience and watching it, it is truly a happy movie. So watch that if you have not seen it. So those 4 movies that you can go watch, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely want to shout out 121 Dreams and my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? With One Night in Miami, they showing how black men interact. Once again, I want to say on the podcast that I love you guys, and shout out Andrew and Big Grams that's not here. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to do that more often as us.
I love you guys too, and that's why it's dope. We meet every other week to have these conversations. My final thought is, I want to give a shout out. We'll probably revisit this another time, but I just want to give a shout out to the artists in Columbus that I really enjoy their music right now.
Columbus, Georgia.
Right, Columbus, Georgia. That's our hometown. Twon be repping Virginia too. But
hey, I was born there, man.
Right.
706.
I was born in the 7 cities. Hampton to be exact.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Columbus, Georgia. I want to give a shout out to C Black, Self One, Modern Day Sunny, Rhea 706, Mike Grizzly, Boy Blue. It's a lot more people, but those are people that I actually like listen to their music, and I enjoy. And I'm not saying that nobody else in the city is making good music. It's just like I wanted to take my moment on a platform that I'm a part of to give them a shout out, because they really, like, just hearing them and hearing their talent just want me to like rep the city more. A lot of times, because I'm in Atlanta or I'm around Atlanta, like I feel like I relate more to Atlanta because it's just more people here doing the things that I feel like I want to do. But it's dope to look back at my city and see people doing things that contrast to what our city is known for right now.
Right.
Or what keeps coming out about our city.
Definitely want to add on to yours. Big Saxy on the saxophone.
Yeah.
Charles Robinson and Mike Jarrell that was on The Voice.
Was he?
Yeah, Mike Jarrell, right? He used to play the Suite all the time. The keyboardist at the Suite. He was on The Voice.
Got you.
Yeah, he was on The Voice the last season. John Legend was his coach.
Okay.
That's what's up.
I mean, I got to shout out, a couple people. Big D.
Ink.
Oh, definitely. We always we give Ink her roses, and we gotta give Ink some more.
Yeah. We most definitely got to shout out Ink Spill when it ain't follow on Instagram.
I was in a clubhouse room and they was doing music association. They was just doing a whole bunch of Chris Brown songs. And they was like, "You got any Chris Brown songs you want us to sing?" And I named every song Ink wrote. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
We got 100. We got Big D. We got Lunatic. Who else we got? Of course, VAR 540. You know what I'm saying? Columbus got a lot of talent, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, Columbus is what it is. FS Rudy, Baby Savage. It's a lot of people out there, you know what I'm saying? You never know who listening. So always keep pushing.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And it's been another episode.
Yes, sir. This has been another episode of my Homeboys podcast. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share. You know what I'm saying? It's actually free to keep it real.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's support is free now.
Telling motherfuckers that from the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's free to let this whole episode play.
Yeah, it's free. You can let this whole episode play. You can share it with somebody, and that's free. Right. Free 99.
Press play and walk away if you need to.
Hey, right. That could be the motto. Press play and walk away. Go ahead and turn us up.
Right.
Hey, man, shout out to my little cousin Colin Fields, man.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Colin Fields. Yeah.
Shout out Colin Fields.
Yeah, Fields Fitness.
Yeah, he was on the live. Yes.
Set a conversation. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll keep those coming and make sure y'all stay tuned. This has been another edition of my Homeboys podcast. I'm Napoleon.
I'm Eric.
Your homeboy, Twon Lack. Yeah.